between LANs, and because of that, routers are therefore used to send data over the internet. Here's our network once again, but this time there's a difference. There is an attacker somewhere in the internet with an arsenal of many ways he could attack our networks to steal information or otherwise damage our enterprise. Although routers can also provide some basic security features, what we should really be using to protect our networks is a firewall. Firewalls are specialty network security devices that control network traffic entering and exiting your network. Firewalls can be placed outside of your router, like Firewall 1, or inside of your network, like Firewall 2. What's important is that they protect the end hosts inside, like the PCs and servers in this network. Firewalls must be configured with security rules to determine which traffic should be allowed and which should be denied. If you configure the rules properly, if PC1 in the New York branch tries to access server 1 in Tokyo, the firewalls should permit the traffic through. The return traffic from server 1 to PC1 should be allowed as well. However, if the attacker tries to access anything inside of our networks, the firewall should block it. So let's look at a couple of Cisco's firewalls.
So you can see why so many people love to play this game digitally and with everything now. You can totally see why this game is so effing fun to the masses. Because it looks like, oh yeah, this is a valuable practice. Whoa, people are trying to, you know what? Things can. Let's just say that capability exists. So therefore, the game of protecting the cloud, protecting the one's mind, of course everybody's going to want to master this. But here goes the thing, Brody, or sis. You're going to school to learn this, but you're implementing it in the wrong way. In the wrong ways, because it's multiple ways. There's only one way you should truly be trying to learn this, and that's to protect yourself. That's to protect yourself. Because notice something here. What did they just discuss? You know what? I jumped in kind of late. You didn't catch the physics lesson, and I meant that. I didn't want to show you this whole. I'm not this guy, okay? I'm not Jeremy. I'm Daniel, and Daniel is gonna teach you what Jeremy rightfully excludes from his lectures, which is the real network is your own network of thought, okay? Your own belief system, where you are able to thwart and protect yourself from attacks is the game that makes you a higher, that grants you a higher capability of consciousness. So they teach you that the only way to become a mind in 2026 is to make one with the Borg. But all of these systems, all of these practices and methodologies and paradigms, it's you. It's you. You are constantly under attack from your own thought by external thoughts, and sometimes your firewalls are weak and they allow certain information to get in, certain things to be manipulated, and certain things to be modified when you otherwise wouldn't, but you don't understand your architecture well enough to design such an internal fortress. Okay? So if you've come to me because you want the next step. Then you know what? You've come to me because you don't know what to build. And that's what they're also not going to show you here. I met a cat. Now this guy, real smart, I can already tell, got his degree. He knows this, and he's actually studying for this. He wants to get this. He wants to build something with this. But isn't that interesting? This, for whatever reason, is interesting to him. He's like, why not? You know? But he's saying, but if I could build something with it, it would just make him feel, but he wants to build something with this, right? With this, for whatever reason. Interestingly, the creative aspect to the coding world, he says he's not the most inclined. It's not there yet. The creativity is not there. And I've got to be honest with you. For me, it wasn't either. And for the last couple months, like a year or two now, I lost the spark even when I did find it to want to keep making things. I'd stopped making things with the Borg. I stopped making things with the devices, with the computers, with the electronics, because there was this lack of opportunity to express myself in the medium. It felt like I was finding more limitations when it came to what I was trying to express, that the technology actually became primitive in my perception. I started perceiving it as less capable than one might have thought, 20, 30, 100 years ago. Um, but I'm only coming back to it because there are minds like mine, and I imagine like yours because you're here, that you want to design something like this. You're somewhere going like, I find this fascinating. I find there to be some beauty in it. Just like how people can see math as like, oh, I mean, it's like every movie's got that scene where the savant goes to the chalkboard and just writes a symphony, but in symbols that just makes no whatever. And then the symphony ends up describing how to start a new world, or how to create the Allspark device, the thing that ignites the next generation, the next civilization. But it's in these symbols that just don't make any sense. And we go, I wish I knew this, but you lost me. Squiggly line number 3 is where you lost me, because I flunked out and started working day jobs at that point in my lineage, my lore. Okay, so you're gonna have to tone it down for me a little bit if you really want me to catch this download. And I hear you. I look at where this AI tech is going, and I go, the stats, all right, you got me, because stats is actually, let's get into that. Statistics, let's get into that. Probability of thought, potentials, you're with me. One possibility collapsing over another, I hear you, I'm right there. But you're explaining to me in these symbols that, is there another way that I could, learn this, work with this, get this download? So, before this turns into a ramble, I truly believe that if you are someone who is looking to study the CCNA certification, who wants to get into programming, who wants to get into engineering, who wants to get into tech, I'm gonna be right here with you now, because look, I don't even know this stuff, but I peep this now, this slide, and I go, oh, you know what? I have like 500 or 600 drawings of how I've spoken to this in terms of my consciousness. I could tell you right now how I have like 5 or 6 systems in full effect, launched to production, that I'm just moving through in thoughts. Because before I go and run and buy the next MacBook that's gonna set me back $2,000, I'm gonna make sure that the one that I've had since the day one, since the jump, is running like a racehorse, okay? I'm gonna start deploying applications to the one environment that don't need updates and that don't sunset this or stop supporting that once the new model is out. And that's where I be, okay? That's who I be now. So it's been a long time coming for me to start becoming, to me start walking down the class hall with the Jeremys, the other IT instructors, because check it. I'm the professor of the dark arts. You feel me? I'm the professor of the dark arts. All right. You want the history lesson? You're gonna have to go hit up Hufflepuff or Huffledore, whatever the heck. I actually wasn't a Harry Potter kid, so I kid. But you're gonna have to go hit one of them up. All right. You might catch me every now and then putting on my best Professor Snape to say, yeah, all right, what do you want to know? I'll show you the whatever. Okay. But then when you really want to ask me about some secret potions that just you can't find in the textbooks, I'm also that Half-Blood Prince. I also keep that stuff tucked away in the crypts. Come meet me in the classroom after hours, and I'll really show you how deep the Deathly Hollows goes. So, tap in with me. I promise you, it's gonna be a whole lot more of the drama. I'm actually not gonna tone back. I was about to lie to you and say it's not like this all the time. Sometimes he's chill. No, I'm pretty much always like this. But it's because I'm gonna teach you something that you won't find anywhere else. From the person who, look, if you want me to slow down and talk to you about Tokyo Branch number 1 and which should fail over to US 1 East, okay, we can do that too. But that's not gonna get your brain moving like a supercomputer. It's not gonna get your brain moving like a supercomputer. It's not gonna unlock the magical abilities that you've been reading in the comic books, you've been watching in the animes since you was 2, okay? It's not gonna do that. It's gonna get you the job so you can become another cog, another ghost in the shell, like they warned us would happen. And if you want that, keep hitting Jeremy up, because he's gonna make sure that you fed through a tube, in a bathtub, as a battery for the Borg. But if you wanna fly in the clouds, up to trees, fruit trees, you gotta hit up Darchi.